welcome to the channel. Today I want to share with you some words of wisdom from my friend Dr. Eli Parrot about self-care. So with love in the air, Valentine's Day, all of that good stuff, you should definitely be looking at how can you take care of yourself so you're there around healthy and good for those you love and care about. So let's listen to Eli.
Hey everyone, I'm Eli Parrot, and I'm a marriage and family therapist with Southeast Psych. I've been invited to chat with you guys a little bit about self-care. So self-care, what is it? We hear that term all the time, but nobody really knows what it means. So what I've come to find it to mean is it's any intentional activity that we do to take care of ourselves. Easy peasy, right? Not so much. A lot of times we ignore our own needs, and that might be because we feel we don't deserve it, or we put everyone else before us, or we're just too tired to take a look at ourselves. But it's really important that we develop a daily practice. We especially need to be practicing self-care when we're feeling lack of motivation to do things, fatigue, or isolating behaviors. Maybe that inner critic is kind of knocking it up a couple notches. Or if you're anything like me, maybe you're experiencing more emotionality or irritability. That's totally me. I cry over everything, good or bad. Just ask anyone at the office, they can tell you. So when I talk about self-care with people, I like to break it down into 4 categories because it's such a broad topic. So I start with physical, then emotional, social, and spiritual. So let's look at physical a little bit. So physical self-care might look like just making sure you're meeting your basic needs. Are you eating? Are you sleeping? Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting movement in your day? That one can be really hard too. Maybe it's finally getting around to scheduling your dental visits and your doctor visits that you keep putting off. Resetting posture. I slouch, so a few times a day I just try to remind myself to put my shoulders back, take a good deep breath, and reset. Or a good one that I love to do, especially when in the car, is a 30-second dance party. So it's like turning your music on and moving around and just jiving for about a wee little bit, but it always works to reset and get your heart racing. And you can do it by yourself. You can do it with your family. You can do it with your friends. So moving on to emotional self-care, that might look like journaling or coloring. It could be napping, which also could go physical, but I think it's very much emotional. Deep breathing, so developing a practice of deep breathing. So it might look a little bit like this. So think about inhaling through the nose, holding it, and exhaling through the mouth. And that serves to slow down our heart rate or pulse and all those racing thoughts we sometimes get. Practicing self-compassion is also important, which can be hard. And that might look like recognizing the good, something I like about myself, something I did well today. It might be noticing how we talk to ourselves. Sometimes that can get pretty negative. It could be making a list of positive affirmations to use with ourselves and others. With social, I always think we are human beings and we are relational, so we need to be connecting and be together. We just need someone to witness our living sometimes. So that might look like just making dinner plans or hosting a dinner party or a game night. Those don't go well in my house, so that doesn't work for everybody. I cheat, by the way, so don't invite me to any of your game nights. But it might be setting up, taking yourself on a date to a movie. It could be online chats with your friends if they're not close by or you just can't get to them. If you're on the opposite side and you're socially butterflictic, it might look like just saying no and staying home every once in a while because you're wearing yourself down. Then we look at spiritual. So you don't have to be a religious being to kind of focus on feeding your soul and your spirit, But that might entail going to your religious home. It might be getting out into nature. I totally feel closest to God when I'm hiking, especially in Radnor Lake. The birds and the colors and the smells and the sounds just kind of put you right there with Mother Nature, the universe, and God. So it also might look like rededicating yourself to a practice of prayer or meditation and gratitude. Keeping a gratitude journal for 3 to 4 weeks has proven to rewire the brain so that you see more of the positive in your world and less of the negative. So those are all ideas, and they may or may not work for you. They don't work for everybody, but that's okay. But self-care for me is pretty simple. So it kind of involves putting on my old ratty sweatshirt. It's pretty ratty and comfy and cozy. It's about 20 years old, but it's part of my house uniform. Taking off the jewelry, putting the hair on top of the head, ding, 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 putting on unicorn house shoes, making a warm beverage, and wrapping yourself in a blanket that you've thrown in the dryer so it's nice and cozy when you come out. So cool, right? So I hope this has been a little bit helpful. So I'd love it if you guys could take a little time, separate your self-care into 4 different categories. So physical, emotional, social, and spiritual, and see what works best for you. I've enjoyed chatting with you. Happy intentional caring for yourself.
Always good to remind ourselves of what we need to do to take care of ourselves. So happy Intentional Self-Care Day. Subscribe to the Ragsdown Sailor channel so you don't miss out on more strategies, tips, and activities. And we'll see you here next time.